Say nothing. Calm. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, the first art collection virtual podcast. We're locked inside. We've got the big CEO, Shadow Raka up north. We've also got Lex and we also got Jiggy J inside. What are you man telling me? What are you saying? What are you saying?
That's good. That's good.
Introduce yourself to the peoples.
Right.
Yeah.
Should I go first?
Yeah, go first. Go first. Go first.
So it's Chedo Oraka, aka the Black Yorkshireman, representing Hull.
Boom.
You know, bringing them northern flavors, the full Nigerian, yeah.
Exactly. My jigger there, my jigger. Who's next? Nate, what are you telling me?
Yeah, so Nate, aka DJ Lex, DJ with Art Collection alongside BJ and a few others. Just doing this DJ thing a few years now, seeing where it goes. Keeping busy, you know me.
Gotta do it. You got Jiggy J inside as well. Shout out people, you released a song today, innit? See? Hot trash, bro. I can't even hear what he's saying, bro. Bro, can't hear you, bro.
Your mic.
See, that's how I knew the song wasn't mastered properly, bro. I don't know what he's doing. He still can't hear. We can't hear you, bro. We can't hear you, G. Rotted.
BJ, I hope your editing skills are on point, you know.
Bro, you know me, bro. Man of many skills, you know. Eh?
What's cooking?
Can't say that, but yeah, we got Jiggy J inside and Jiggy J inside. Obviously, he's gonna pattern himself. He'll pattern himself. He'll get there. But Carmen, obviously, first thing I sent to you guys, innit? It's pretty basic. I think, obviously, I do want to like touch on obviously like music. Obviously, that's kind of what we do in it. But in terms of like Black Lives Matter in it, just on a basic level, like what does that mean to you guys? Just like as a black man in it, what does that mean to you guys? Anyone go first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, obviously. It's just beyond what has been happening just now. Like what we're seeing in the media, what we're seeing with everything that just relates to, in particular, police brutality. Obviously, that term was coined and like was born as a result of all of that we're seeing. But to us, in terms of Black Lives Matter, that goes back beyond our generation. That's generations before. That's all of the hardships that our parents had to deal with, our grandparents, our ancestors, the reason we're here today. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
that goes far beyond it. And like, historically, we've been disenfranchised. We've been subject to like racism, prejudice. This Black Lives Matter thing like represents our whole struggle, man, for the beginning of time, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sometimes forget, like, especially when you get those stupid people saying like all lives matter thing. It's not like, I think what they kind of forget is as black people sometimes, like we're not seen the same as everyone else. I think we're seen as like different, or how can I say it? Like we're just not the same. So like our feelings are not seen as the same. Our struggles isn't seen as the same. It's kind of like we can just move past it. Because, you know, but I think it's a testament to black people as well. I think, you know, we do a lot, we take a lot, and we still kind of fight and move forward in it. But yeah, like obviously, Chedi, what do you think about that? What do you think?
Yeah, man, I just think obviously to echo what Nate says, like I think it just like it represents our pain, innit? We've been through too much, and I feel like this whole movement, it's been great to see that it's been noisy. It's been very noisy. Like people are coming from all different aspects, like, and we're just saying we're not having it no more.
Big man thing.
And I think we need to continue this energy forever. We can't go back to it being silent. Like it's more than just everyone posting a blacked out picture on Tuesday. Do you get me? Like we need to keep on going with this movement, man. Like we need to unify, forget all this fighting amongst each other, all this beef that we've got on road or in the estates or whatever, in all the establishments, even like in work establishments, man. We can have more than one black person, more than two black people winning in different fields, man. We need to just come together as a race and eradicate this thing called racism, yeah? And yeah, bro, that's what it represents to me, like just the power, the struggle, and the unity.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. I think a lot of people kind of forget that aspect of it. We kind of need to start getting ourselves into different places of power as well. Because, you know, like if you want to affect change, you kind of need to be in a place where we can affect change. But they have to let us in the door first. You know what I'm saying? We can't break down the door. They kind of have to let us in the door. So I think sometimes as well with Black Lives Matter, white people still... It's hard to, by the way, we're going to say white people a lot in it today. So if you're triggered by the word white people, You're saying for you, innit? So we're gonna say white people a lot today, but it's not a racist thing. It's just a thing. A lot of white people get triggered by white people. I don't get that, but I think a lot of white people as well is kind of their thing. They need to realize that we kind of need your help on this one as well. Like when you speak,
no, for it to work, for this whole thing to work, the white people need to probably rep more than the blacks, innit? Because they're the majority. They're the majority. They're the people in the powers of position. They need to be fighting for the cause as much as us, because we need their help. We need our allies.
Even though that's why I think this is like the biggest like change I've seen from all the police brutality. I think because you're seeing a lot, like you're seeing white people like, you know, actually upset and enraged. It's a bit jarring because, you know, we've been screaming this for time. We've been saying this for ages. They didn't hear it. Suddenly they see it. Fair enough, it takes you ages, but you still got there. So I think it's a case of like we need them to kind of, you know, step in and do their role as well, which is good, which is hard for a lot of them to do because, you know, to a lot of them it's, you know, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're calling yourself out, which is a bit difficult. But I think at the end of the day, we can't do this by ourselves as black people. Like we've been doing it for how many years? What, since, you know, the dawn of time, and it's still not going anywhere. So we kind of need them to step up and, you know, step in their place, kind of thing. As Jiggy J sorted out his
I don't even know if it's working.
Yeah. You're inside. You're inside.
Yeah, mic check 1 2 1 2. I'm here finally. But now, just to be honest, there's really nothing I could add to it. I mean, I think you lot like literally summed it up perfectly, like about Black Lives Matter. Like, you know, the main thing is that, of course, like black people have been suffering for years, man. Like people talking about coronavirus and all this other stuff going around the world, but black people, well, we haven't had it good. Like I always say, like they say this is the best time to be black, and look at how bad it is. Like you get me? Like come on, man, and we're still getting all of this. Like it's not good enough. So you can tell that a lot of us were fed up with it, man. And I am happy that for once it does feel like black people are actually going out there to try and fight for their rights. Like, bro, their businesses are shook, you know.
Bro,
like the fact that
my work business is shook, bro.
Bro, every business, ask any black person where they work right now, they're making a statement, they're trying to add some.
Yeah, but even with that, though, what annoys me with those statement things is like it's so surface. Because I'm sorry, you knew, like what you know there's systemic racism in your business, but it's suddenly now is the time that you're thinking, oh shit, we have to make a statement because if we don't, we're finished, innit? And I think that's what kind of annoys me with some of it, because it's a bit like.
But I think that's kind of good because it shows that we actually have power, because businesses are trying to protect their money. That's the way we can really get change, is by really affecting them in their pockets. That's literally the best. So the fact that businesses feel that if you don't make a speech right now or do something, like it's gonna affect our business, then it shows that they're shook of us, and it's good. And we need to utilize that to our advantage, you know. Definitely. And try let these brands just move from making statements but actually making action that benefits black people, and like you said, just putting us in positions where we can actually make change. And we need to start holding white people to accountable.
But we have to.
I think us to a high regard. So we need to start holding our white friends, our white people that we know into high regards when it comes to not tolerating racism too. So
which is facts. I think one thing that we haven't done for a while is just kind of call it out with a lot of white people. Like I think, you know, they'll say something that's a bit, you know, on the line. I don't know, like obviously Chadu, you're again that you've been fighting the fight up north, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing up north in Hull. So like how have you found, like, you know, a lot of the people that you, I don't say grew up with, but people you were around, because obviously you be around a lot more white people than, you know, me, Gift, and Nate, just by
man. There's definitely, I'll be real with you, there's definitely on my timelines, on my socials, I've had to delete a lot of people.
This is Facebook, by the way. You know yourselves.
Yeah, Facebook, man. Facebook's like fucking. It's like Jeremy Kyle, bro. Like it's like the wild west.
So bad.
It's a horrible place. Like just a cesspit of idiotic morons. Do you know what I mean? But again, there's definitely been some people that have been fighting the cause. Yeah. In terms of like people that are around me. There's definitely been some supportive friends, man. I cannot lie. And there's definitely been people that have been a bit quiet. So I don't know if they're fighting the cause in their own way, because not everyone has to be out here on the front line being Martin Luther King and doing other. But if you're having conversations with your parents, if you're having conversations with your kids, do you know what I mean? Like buying things for your kids and like maybe books and and maybe educating yourself. Like I know some of my boys have been like reading a lot of Akala stuff. That's fine, innit? But if you're being quiet and not doing nothing, then that's a problem, in my opinion.
Funny thing is that just like following on from that, one thing I saw that was quite interesting. So I don't know if you probably saw from the initial Black Lives Matter protests. So obviously they was on the streets, they were doing their thing, and then obviously some of the horses got hurt in the protest. And then for the first time, I saw on my Facebook people that didn't make a statement in outrage, absolute outrage. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? This whole thing has happened. Your first time that you felt moved to speak was about a horse. So in my head, you're thinking a horse is more precious to yourselves than black people. You don't see us on the same level. Because what frustrates me is the fact of, they're protesting. Like, not every protest is going to be smooth, easy, and, say straightforward. But it's the fact of a lot of people are using that to just nullify the whole argument, which kind of annoys me. And I'm thinking,
and they're racist, Jads.
Yeah,
they're racist people. I don't care what we say. Stop using the riots. Stop using the defacing of the statues. Stop using Anthony Joshua's statement, what he did, as an excuse. Stop concentrating your energy on that. There's a bigger purpose out here, and it's black people being oppressed for over 400 years.
Exactly. And it's frustrating.
The thing that always triggers me there is like going back to that point of the energy that gets put onto things that like animals or statues or this, that, and the other. Like, you always have to ask, did anyone die? No, like no one died. Talking about a statue, and this is how angry you are. And then we're dying. Like, we're actually being, not just dying, being killed. Like, and there's no energy. What's going on?
Bro,
the fact that we have to even have this conversation sometimes blows my mind. Like, it should just be common sense. Like, we're all humans, and you can see that a group of humans are being treated unfairly, and you have a response. Any response aside from I stand with you is just wrong.
Yeah, definitely, man. Even though we're us, you're against us, man. Definitely. Like, it's crazy. Like, when you think about it, like, people are protesting our protest. Like, all we're asking for is equality, We're not even trying to ask for anything else. No one is trying to be like, we deserve more than white people. We're not even trying to say, like, for example, if there's a job, we should get the job. We just want a fair shot at getting the job. Like, if our saving matches our white counterpart, we just want to be in a position where we're equally considered for it. And that's all we're asking for.
Bro, the thing is,
it's actually like,
it's simple.
The only way, it just baffles me. The only way you would look at this and be mad about that is that you definitely don't want us to have that equal opportunity with you.
Do I think
you want for yourself?
Yeah.
Clearly don't want that.
Where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that comes from? That level of like being threatened, or is it fear?
I think a lot of like white I keep trying to stop myself saying white people. A lot of white people, I think, are comfortable with what they have at the moment. So they think that black people are coming to take what they have and try and change society. At the end of the day, all black people want, and I saw a video which is actually quite good. All black people want is equality. We don't want revenge, bro. We don't want to, go out there and take that.
And you know what? They're lucky that we don't want revenge,
bro. Big man thing. All we want is, for example, like if I like myself, so my like 9 to 5, for me to get that job, I've got like an English name that I'm using just for me to get into the door. I've now spoken to them about it on a night out. They're like, oh, like why do you call it like we didn't know that's not your actual like first name. Like, why is that what you go for? And I said, well, look at me right now. If I told you my first name, Baba Jide, on my CV, you're gonna hire me, yes or no? They're like, oh, fair enough. And I'm like, that is the problem. That is the issue. That is the issue, and that is what black people have been trying to change for all we want is a fair shake. You know what I'm saying? We just want a fair shake, because at the end of the day, what annoys me is that a lot of people say things like, oh, but there's black murderers, there's black criminals. Yeah, there's idiot black people. Same way there's idiot white people. Same as idiot Asian people. But at the end of the day, all we want is that for the day-to-day man, as a black man, just to have a fair shake in a free world that we claim for it to be free. But is it really free as a black person? Is it really free?
Nah.
Think about that. But yeah, I think the next point, obviously, to fail is leading on to like, do you think this is the one? It's the revolution. Do you think this is the one?
I think another phase? I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
I think like black people in the UK and in the US are not going to have it no more. They're not going to have it no more at all, man. Like, and we can't, because they can't. This needs to be the last generation that gets oppressed. It needs to be.
The thing I find most interesting with it is like when we're speaking to these people and we're online and we're trying to educate people on this. The thing I think is most interesting is that we're not aiming our protests specifically at the generation that's in power now. Yeah. We're trying to educate a generation that's currently at school or currently at nursery, trying to convince a 50-year-old racist that has been racist their whole life, their parents racist, to not be racist is a little bit improbable. It's not going to happen, is it?
I've got a quick question. Sorry to cut you off here. So in school, did any of you guys have like a white person say that my granddad or my mom would like you because she's like old school? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I used to go out with a girl. I'll be realistic with you, yeah?
Yeah.
I used to go out with a girl. This is even at university, yeah? Her dad, I never met her real dad. And you know what? I'm actually embarrassed to say this. I've never said this before, yeah? There was one time when so I met her mum and her stepdad. Her mum and her stepdad were cool with me, yeah? There was one time, bro. Fucking hell, bro. This has just come to me now, you know, and I'm just going to admit it.
Say it.
There was one time when I went to her house and her real dad came and she said, Jado, you need to go upstairs so he doesn't see you. And that is true. That happened in Doncaster. My old girlfriend, her dad was like in his 70s. And like, an old school racist, and like I had to go hide upstairs, man.
Bro, the thing is, what's sad about that, is like obviously like you can joke about it now, innit? But like that shit affects you, man. As a person, we are still like, I think a lot of the time, bro, people don't think we're still people, you know. That shit affects you, like. That is actually, and people go through that on a daily, bro. Like you can laugh it off now, but like a lot of people go through that. Like that shit is real, and it's kind of frustrating that you have to even do that, bro. This ain't the 1990s. This ain't civil rights, bro. This is big man 2000s, and we're still, you know.
Yeah,
it's mad, bro. Like that's just come to me now, bro.
I suppressed that. I said no.
Definitely. Oh, like think about it, even as black people, before we can even go somewhere, we had to do our research. Like, can we actually can we
get into the club? Oh my days.
Can we get inside? Like, can we actually even go to the country? Is it safe for black people to be there? Did they have a like, would they protect us?
Bro, man, then will go to me and say, "Oh, we're flying to Poland for a stag do." I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm not going.
You know what, bro? To stick up for Poland, bro. I went to Krakow, bro. It was sick.
Bro, you're like 6'7", bro, and like wow, no one's beefing with you.
This brings me to the next story, though. The stag do I went on before, that was in Estonia, yeah?
Yeah.
That is the most racist country I've ever been to, bro. Like, I got called a nigger in the toilet, bro. Yeah. I had to punch some guy in the club because he called me the M-word.
Yeah, do it, bro. You need to start doing that.
Their football fans are notorious for that kind of racism.
I said all football fans, bro. I don't give a fuck, man. I said it. All of them are racist, bro. That's all the man that went to counter protest. But yeah, obviously next point. Let me get my phone, bro. This is not smooth, bro. Big up Denzel in it. He's better these things in it. I just get waved and follow what he says normally, but yeah.
Bro,
he's just chilling in it. He's just chilling at the moment, bro. Just chilling. Yeah. But I think obviously next question. Do you think obviously there's like as black people we have to play up to certain stereotypes? If that makes sense. Like. You have to play up.
I think that's a thing what you London boys do, man. Me, I don't give a fuck, bro. You London boys love to play up to this roadman persona and that. For me, bro, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I mean, anyway, I'll let you lot speak about it.
See, bro, this guy's a racist, bro. I said you people, man. Sick, bro. Sick. Bro, get out of the cool, man.
I think one of us.
I think me personally, like, you have to, because I get like one line I get, which is actually quite funny actually. Is when people say to me, "Oh, yeah, you're the whitest black man I've ever met," because I play rugby, I don't DJ bashment, Afro beats, and every Negro tune in the world. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're actually the whitest black man I've ever met." I look at them like, you can't say that. You can't actually say that. What? Because I don't tap dance or eat watermelon. I'm certainly the whitest black man you've ever seen. I don't get it, which I think is kind of frustrating because it puts a lot. Because you get some. For example, you like KSI, this is kind of. I'm a big fan of him, but I don't like his content. in the way that he is, like he does his thing, music, YouTube, all of that, yeah, bare successful, but he's not your prototypical, stereotypical like black person, in it. Like he gets no love from the black community because he doesn't play up to certain stereotypes. So I think as black people, as black men, there are certain stereotypes you have to play up to, except for Chedo Rack, because you know he comes from them sides.
Nah,
there.
I'm kidding, bro. I was kidding.
No. You're racist. You're racist. I don't care. You're racist. But what do you think? What do you think, Gift, bro? What do you think?
I think to a degree, yes, but I think this is something that really boils down to you. So of course, like me, bro, I'm stubborn, man. Like you might know me. Like I ain't playing no stereotype. Like I just do me. Like if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. That's it. Like regardless of what it is. So like sometimes I do get moments where people even like, because you know me, I'm kind of fresh. I'm Nigerian, innit? Like Papa, yeah. But people try like be like, oh, you don't really come across as like that Nigerian. What do you mean? Like I'm not that Nigerian. Do you get? I'm trying to just because I like something different, or just because I don't like maybe what the typical Nigerian would like. So I'm not a different Nigerian. It makes no sense. Like, bro, people like what they like. You don't need to because I'm Nigerian. Don't mean I have to like.
Everyone's different. I think they forget that. Everyone's just themselves. Like everyone's just themselves.
Everyone is different.
The thing I find is that like maybe not even like living up to certain stereotypes, but it's sometimes having to make an effort to not like in certain professional situations.
Don't want to
like,
intimidate them.
Like I have to suppress my blackness.
Yeah.
Certain way I can't say something, or I can't do this, or can't. Do you know what I mean? That's something I find that is like a lot more relevant. Like being in a situation. Have you ever been in a situation professionally where you're like maybe the only black person in the room, and then you look across the bar at work drinks, and then there's another black person, and you can just see the pain between their eyes, that they just want to break free and just
you look like 50 Cent.
Please help me, save me.
Just struggling, like, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like that's all of those things. Like those microaggressions are things that we have to laugh off in an attempt to not be too black.
But it's a shame because it's a shame because a lot of the time, bro, people saying mad stuff to us, like mad stuff, but we can't lose. You can't go mad because you're playing a race card. Oh, it's just banter. You're playing a race card. I'm like, bro, you just call me the N-word. Nah, you're playing a race card, mate. You just saying, you're just singing a song. Like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Like even if you just give your opinion, or even if you just challenge something, it's you're being aggressive, you're being this, you're being that, and. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. And to be honest, like I'll say, for us at least, being men, we are lucky. Like, bro, black women,
they get hot.
Yo, like I always say, honestly, imagine if you're a Muslim black woman in this, bro. Those women are strong.
They get it,
because the things they have to go to from their religion, their race, and the fact that they're women, their gender, is absolutely. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's the world we live in, and unfortunately, we do as black people have to play the game, you know, just to survive and just to cope. But yeah, this is what we're fighting for. I guess we're trying to fight for.
We've got to do it, bro. For like people coming after us.
It's like when obviously we've all got African mums in it, and like say growing up in the house, if someone rings from work, they'll go from the African accent.
Oh yeah.
The posh
hello.
British accent.
How are you? Yes. Hello. He's like, why are you talking like that? I've got to do it. It's a shame. It's sad. But I think we'll hopefully get to a point where like, because even there was actually something I was thinking about, like, you see with accents, with like African accents, it's seen as unintelligent. But if I had a Spanish, Italian, or French accent, it's seen as cultural.
Yeah, or sexy, or good.
Or
like,
sexy.
I remember BJ. He said to me once, like, bro, like, I should be able to say my name, Babajid, and people be like, oh my god, that sounds great. Like when some guy comes in, some Spanish guy,
bro, if I say
Silva, something, and everyone is gassed.
My gosh.
Like, it should be the same thing. Like when you say my name, this is my African name. You should be proud of it. Like people should look at it and be like, wow, that's great. And even the fact that they even pronounce it wrong.
That pisses me off, bro. A lot of African names are very easy to say.
Many times you teach them how to say it. Go pronounce a white person's name wrong. They'll correct you ASAP on the dot. But if you do the same thing, it's almost like, yeah, whatever. Like we don't need to
learn. Come on. Chedi, how have you found it? Obviously, like you growing up in Hull, where like you're majority around a lot of white people. Like, you know, you're very much, how can I say, unadulteratedly black in it. Like, what would you say? Like you're obviously like the stereotypes people had for you growing up in that kind of area.
Bro, everything you can imagine. Like
drug dealer.
like one of the roughest estates in the city, man. And like, yeah, man, the racism was mad, bro. Mad, like people coming up to me and feeling my hair. Oh, it feels like cotton wool. Do you know what I mean? And like, bro, like madness, bro. Like pronunciations of my name, just like the maddest racism, like even like the maddest overt kind of racism you can imagine, bro, man. And it wasn't until, because I was quite a timid kid, and I wasn't always this tall. Was quite timid, and I'm from an area where everyone's related to each other, and like your friends aren't really your friends, bro. Like they're not really backing you too much when the big boys are being racist to you and that. And then bro, it was crazy. Man's not gonna lie, but then I just got a thick skin, and then I just became bigger, and I just learned how to fight.
Is that real, you know? Is that real, bro?
And then I got in like sort of like, you could say like a gang where like there's a lot of there was a few ethnic minorities. So there was like some Syrian twins. There was a couple of Bangladeshi boys. There was like some mixed race boys, and like obviously, and then the rest was just white. And like we was just not having it. We were just beating up everyone. So I'm being real in that. And before that though, like you know, when you was on about like feeling protected, like being black, I did feel protected being in that group of friends. So yeah, bro. But yeah, the racism in Hull was mad.
But real quick, sorry, bro. Nate, sorry, Lex, bro. I thought you said if you join, bro, he's telling me I need to upgrade my thing. I ain't got the piece for that one still.
No, it should be there still.
It says upgrade, running that. You know what? Yeah, we'll just work it. If it shuts out, we'll have a little 5-minute break. But yeah, we'll edit this one out. So that's what we got Marco there for. Jeez. I think one thing I was gonna actually touch on. I think though, like on a very, very basic level, I think people need to start spinning some white people's jaw, bro. If they say something racist, spin the jaw, knock him out. Because
I've knocked too many people out because of that.
You have to. Because I think people forget sometimes that, you know, we are still people. If I go to you and I say something very, very disrespectful to you, you'll feel within your rights to do something back to me. But I feel like some people think that, as a black person, that again, we're not seen, I always say this is very basic, we're not seen as the same as everyone else. We're not on the same level. So they can say, shout abuse. Like I've played games where people shouted abuse at me. I've gone mad. People are like, why are you going mad? I'm like, do you hear what he just said? Yeah, but just play the game. That doesn't make sense. See where I'm coming from as like on a human level. And at the end of the day, bro, there are some mad people in this world. I tell a lot of white people. If you want to say that, I don't know if you might get this, but I get people saying, "Oh, can I get the black card to say the N-word, blah 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 blah," in songs and stuff. I always tell them, you can say what you like, innit? Don't say it around me, but you can say what you like. Because at the end of the day, you might say it around the wrong person and you'll spin your jaw, and there's nothing you can do about it. At the end of the day,
yeah.
So I think a lot of black people just, bro, Malcolm X it, bro, and just start spinning jaws. I say that.
No, very true. Because
Malcolm X them, bro.
Because look, yeah, like with anything, I always try to like look at history and look how things have been done. Yeah, like fam, for us to get away, I don't condone violence, but we do need a bit of violence. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm sorry, like
people need
that's
to be
why
scared.
some of the rioting, some of the looting, I think that it needs to be done. Some of it needs to be done, as long as it's strategic enough. Do you get? And no one is being. I'm not trying to say go kill somebody. Whatever. Now we're not condoning that. But sometimes you do need to enforce a little bit of violence. Like you have to break the law. Like for example, bro, people think Martin Luther King. You think this guy wasn't wanted? This guy's a criminal. Yeah. As far as they were concerned, Rosa Parks, she's a criminal. They were breaking laws. They were taking it to them. Like you have to do that. Like, and if you look at history, if you read any book, for you to get your way, bro, there's an element of violence. Bro, God has given David how many stones to kill Goliath for their people. Like, bro, God went to go drown the bloody Israelites. Like, I'm not trying to say kill them, but you need to fight. That's basically what it is. So if you feel disrespected enough where it's like, bro, you have to punch someone's jaw, honestly, they might just deserve that.
Sometimes some people will clock it in their head and find a click.
Unfortunately, sometimes it has to be done.
Because think about it, they're going to go home and say, I just got into a fight. What happened? I'll call this black guy the N-word. Well, I didn't do that in the first place. Exactly. Well, of course he's going to do that. But I think sometimes though, like a lot of white people need to kind of own their mistakes. Like I think if they forget you, we're not saying that you are all horrible people and you've all done something wrong and it's all your fault. Yeah, we understand that obviously you had nothing to do with, a lot of you had nothing to do while we're in this situation. But what we're saying is that as a people in general, we need to all come together and, you know, attack this one goal. Because at the end of the day, like, I saw this tweet was quite interesting. Like, you want to make sure you're on the right side of history while this revolution happens. Do you want to be known? Do you want to remember in your head that, oh shit, I was arguing against these people? Because eventually we will get to that place. We will get there. But it's a case of, do you want to see yourself as I was fighting against that, or I'm the reason I got there? Think about it. Yeah. So obviously, the next question, obviously, topic got on here is actually quite interesting. So, what genres do we class as black genres, if there is even is black genres, if that makes sense? What are black genres?
I mean, typically everyone looks at hip hop as like a black genre, or like grime, or anything that involves anything to do with rap and rhyming. I would say that would probably be it. Yeah, I don't know what, like, it's quite strange because when you look at things like house music, certain forms of house music that like black people.
All house music came from black people, mate.
House music that came from black people, like.
Yeah.
People are gonna be honest, bro. Everything.
See what? Ding ding ding. Bro, that's the truth. I think it's actually quite interesting. So I think with music's quite a good way of kind of explaining how what happens in the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, for example, with quote unquote, let's say like techno and house, they came from Chicago and Chicago and somewhere else in it, but made by black people, started by black people, gentrified, taken over by white people. Now, if you think of techno and house, you don't think, you know what I'm saying, black people. You don't think, oh, that black people started it. Even as, let's say you're a techno DJ, as a black DJ, you're not going to get seen the same level because you're, you know, it's not the same thing. And I think that's kind of like, that links back to what happens in, you know, like in real life. Black people have something, is then gentrified, suddenly it doesn't belong to us anymore. Which I find quite irritating at times.
But you
still have hip hop, I guess.
When we look at music, yeah, and like one of the topics that people have been talking about over the last few weeks is like the whitewashing of the school curriculum and how we're taught about all of the great things that white people invented, but some of the greatest things in the world were created by black people. We don't know that, even within our own community. Those are the things that we should be talking about when we talk about Black History Month. And every year, we're here talking about Martin Luther King. The guy's been dreaming for how many years? Do you know what I mean? So why don't we talk about this other type of black excellence? The people that created things, like this music we're listening to, that other people get to enjoy. We made it. Why aren't we standing up, and why aren't we saying like, boom, we're proud of this. The whole world needs to know. Like, it's not just African music and drums that we made. Nah, it goes beyond. It goes far beyond that. Like,
no, it's jarring, bro, and it's bare frustrating. At the end of the day, like, you know, our history is just, you know, slave and or massa and all that shit.
Yes.
And it really pisses me off. And it's when I was trying to explain to a lot of white people, when, for example, the whole looting and everything, and then I say to a lot of people, we don't actually, that's not our businesses. Like, they're saying in America, oh, they're burning down their areas, bro. That doesn't belong to them. We don't have anything. Everything we have is stolen from us. Like, we're trying to tell you that on a level of everything that we have is stolen from us. And when we were trying to, you know, teach our kids X, Y, and Z, all they're learning is about, you know, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Like, they don't even, which is quite interesting, they don't even teach about Malcolm X, you know. And that guy is probably the most influential black person.
Yeah.
Like, more influential than Martin Luther King. What he
ask yourself why.
I spoke about is because it's too powerful. He was talking about black empowerment, black business, own your shit. Let's own our shit. That's too powerful. Nah, let's whitewash it. He was a terrorist.
Yeah, exactly that. It's the way that they allowed people to protest. So we're fed the narrative that we must protest peacefully, and the reason that we have all of these movements and the reason that black people have rights, the reason why people are allowed to vote is because Martin Luther King stood up there and, you know, said we should protest peacefully. There should be no, do you know what I mean? And that's not it.
Same man.
It took everything.
Same man that was saying protest peacefully, bro. When Arsenal lose, they'll go and punch one car, bro, and go and stamp over everyone, right? I don't get it. Really don't make no sense, bro. Like, even to jump back into that, what happened when they protested against the Black Lives Matter protest? But the Black Lives Matter protests weren't there, so they're fighting the police. They're protecting the same statues that they came to protect. Please make that make sense in my head. Please. If you just say you're racist, just say you hate niggas, just say you hate black people.
It's okay.
That's fine. Just say it. Just say it. It's okay to be racist. Just do your thing, but don't tell me you're doing it because you're a patriot. But I think in music, though, I think in terms of like with music, what I find kind of frustrating is, like, for example, with hip hop, yeah, let's say we still own hip hop, but all your CEOs are going to be white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All your label owners are going to be white. All your A&Rs are going to be white. Even, for example, with Chadu, with yourself, yeah, like, obviously, I know you were talking before about you being signed to like a label and stuff. How many black people? Actually, I don't know if I can get you
No, you can.
in a situation. But how many black? Fuck it. How many black people were in the room when you signed that deal?
Wow.
I was gonna say me,
no,
me, myself, and I.
I was the only me and like obviously you know D's in it.
Yeah.
So it was like it was two white guys, a white girl, Deezy, and me.
Exactly. And you imagine, so you're in a room and like you're going to sign a deal, going to they're going to put money into you and X, Y, and Z, and the only black person in the room is you. And I think that's my issue. I think that's my issue with the music. Like, you can't just have just like the gatekeepers are white people in quote unquote black music. We need more people in those situations, which I kind of find kind of annoying. And I think it does stop a lot of people from doing well, I think, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
no, definitely, man. Definitely. Like, if you think about it, like, imagine like even trying to work on your creativity. Like, they might not get the music. Do you get, like, that's why you see nowadays in music, bro, there's some trash people out there, man. Not because the music is good, but just because, like, bro, like, the people running this don't understand what is actually good for the culture.
Yeah.
Like, they're ruining it, mate. They're ruining it. So yeah, like you said, and yeah, like, all they do is just, of course, get someone that they think, oh, this is like the new trend. Now it's just more about getting, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just going viral. They're just looking for a viral moment. And it's absolutely ridiculous. People with no musical talent they can't rap, they can't sing, can't do anything, can't play an instrument, and they're getting deals, and it's just not good for the culture, man.
But I've got a question for you, man. But do you think it's down to black people that we need to put ourselves more in those kind of situations where we've got more A&Rs, more label execs? Do you think
that's the thing? We need to take the reins. Like, we need to represent ourselves, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one knows us like us. Like,
we do.
Like, if you walk into a room, like we're saying again, we're going to come back to this. I'm just feeling comfortable, and you have a CEO that runs the company that was born in London or born somewhere else, or comes from a African or Caribbean background. They understand where you came from because that's where they come from. Do you know what I mean? Trying to tell someone about your struggle that hasn't lived through it is always going to be hard, man. It's
always difficult.
Definitely.
Like,
even I've had it. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, sorry. The only thing about it is that it's very difficult for us to break through into it, because, like, think about it, the music industry, like, is basically the Jewish people and white people. They run it. Like, the money at the end of the day.
Why would we talk about the Jews, man?
Like, at the end of the day, all the money goes towards the same people. Even if they're different labels, like, even some of these labels, like, there's some labels that you think, oh, like, black people are running, but really and truly, if you look at the person behind it, if you deep it, it's the money don't go to the black people. It still ends up going back towards the white Jews or Jewish people that own these labels. And so it's a very tough space to come in and really, like, create. What we have to do it. We have to find a way. I'm not really sure. I don't know how the way will be, and I feel like a way that would be good is if we can have someone that's on that white side kind of back us and bring us in. Yeah. But I do not know another way on how to do it, just because of how saturated the market is.
I've actually got a question. So So with you, Chadu, like, obviously, I know your song Darcy in it. Like, how many listeners is that on now? Like, on
Darcy's on like nearly like it's on like 2.9 something million.
Man, bro, mine. And I know that that went on there was a Spotify playlist. Was it the Rap UK one?
Graham shut down, innit? When Graham shut down, popping in it when it was like the one in it.
And how did you like get? I don't know. Obviously, I'm quite naive. And how do you like get your music onto like those kind of platforms? Is it a case of like you have to go?
You have to pitch. You have to. Spotify for artists has like a little thing where you pitch your song, and luckily it got on there and it stayed on there. In fact, I think it's the eighth longest song to be on that playlist. It was on the playlist for 308 days.
And then even when you were pitching that, was it a case of like what? Or you want like you just like an online, like, even for you to like pitch that, do you think it was like black people that were taking it in, or was it a case of?
I don't know who was responsible
fair.
for putting it on there, but I know the main man for editorial at that time was Austin Darbo, innit?
King.
Like Nigerian, absolute. He's one of the guys, one of the big figureheads in the music industry who's black, really trying to like bring through black music to get me. And I think, you know, when like say I think it was like 2018 to like 2019, when everyone was charting, every week someone had charted.
Yeah.
I think like he really helped a lot of these artists, man. Like he's really a guy who's riding for the cause, and he's just gone to Atlantic now.
Okay. Yeah, he's got big thing there, innit?
So yeah, man. Like we need more Austins, innit?
Yeah. I think about that's one Austin. So imagine we have 5 Austins. Imagine we have 10.
Oh, if we had 10 Austins in the UK, the game would be different. Obviously, there's other people. There's people like the twins, isn't there? Like twin HB. Get me? There's like who else, man? There's the Rich 32's guy, that Zion. There is a few black guys ramping. There's obviously that them guys who are responsible for that since '93. It's that Glyn who used to be like who had something to do with So Solid and them man back in the day. So there is a few black guys. We just need about 10 or 20 of them,
and the game will change.
The game will change. Trust me. And black women as well. Don't forget our beautiful women as well.
Big man team. Most oppressed race in the world. I always say, bro, black women.
Yeah.
They get it. But do you think like black people within the music industry are like exploited?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. When we think about, I don't know who it was that said this quote, but it was this girl that said, imagine if people loved black people as much as they love black culture. And it was like, bruh, this is literally it. If you put as much energy into our struggle as you did buying a ticket for a Kendrick Lamar concert, we'd be calm. Do you know what I mean? We'd be blessed, bro. Like, it's so hard to like even fathom how many like artists, we don't see like everything that artists go through, but like even the conversations they have behind closed doors with record labels, and even in the 90s, 2000s, even way back in like Motown days, when getting absolutely exploited in their contracts, they were pushing out millions and millions of pounds of dollars for record labels. How much of that did they see? Do you know what I mean? Like, and you've got people sitting at the top, billionaires, millionaires, that are just enjoying all of that based on our creativity and our intellectual property. It's mad.
Yeah. I think we need to be a bit more. We need to be a bit more like clever with those things. We need to start having our own labels. You know, what I'm saying, our own production teams, like all those kind of things that which I think is going to help us more.
No, definitely, man. And the thing is about having the black people in power. That's all good. I'm all for having black people in positions of power in the music industry and in other fields, but they need to be the right black people.
Yeah.
We can't just have anyone. Like, we can't have a token gesture.
Yeah.
We can't have black guys that are there, but they've got their own agenda, and they're not really in for bringing other black people through. They need to be the correct black person.
Just to reiterate what Chedo was saying, because I was going to say, like, in terms of that, having the right, because we have situations where even we've seen someone signed to maybe like a black management or a black person, and they're getting shagged from their deal with that black person. So we need black people who actually want to help black people and ensure that, look, like, I'm not here trying to like give you a contract that's going to shag you or try to steal from you. I'm actually signing you so that I can help you, type of thing. If you get what I'm trying to say. So like, so the situations like that. So we actually need black people to actually look after their own too. Because if you look at other races, like you look at Asians, look at Indians, look at like they have such a strong community. Look at the Chinese, have community. White people, they're together, they have a community. Black people, sometimes it just feels like we are a bit scattered.
We don't support each other.
Some of it is not our fault. Some of it is not our fault. Some of it is down to how it's been put down systematically. Because all of this has been done for us to ensure that we are not together. They make sure that whatever they do, we're not together. That's why they put the drugs in our neighborhood. That's why they try to portray us against each other. Every time, because they know that when we come together, we're a lot stronger. So we need black people in positions that actually care, like genuinely care about black people and want the best for them.
Because it's frustrating though. I think even like probably you more guys that obviously do that like on the music thing. Like even you even when you put stuff out, you don't really get the same love from some black people because it's seen as begging it, which I just don't. I've just never ever understood. I've never understood why you supporting someone that you know. Say me, I will unashamedly support you. I don't give a. I don't care, bro. I will beg it. I don't care because it's frustrating because you get even on the flip side of it, I'll get like some white people who they'll support my thing completely differently. That they'll ride to the ends of the earth for my thing. But then with black people, it's kind of I don't know where this culture of like, oh, you're begging it, or why are you forcing it? But like, I think that's where as black people we need to kind of just unashamedly support each other. Like, just support each other, man.
That's how we'll win.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Sure.
No, definitely. If not, Rev, the game is the game. But I think what was the last? I think that's everything actually. Yeah, I think that's mostly everything. I think probably we'll sign off there. Just say thank you guys in it, love for this. You got there DJ Lex, Trader Raka, Jiggy J. Anything you guys want to shout out? You got anything coming out?
Yeah, I'll start. I've got a single out at the moment. The War Chant, me and D's Kid. It's the Majestic edit. Yeah, just stream it, man, and support. Follow me on Instagram, Oraka LD, which is ORAKA LD. Peace. Love. Anything from you? I know you dropped a song today, innit?
Yeah. Put a new song with Lucas. Shout out Lucas. I tried to say that earlier in the beginning, but my mic was, of course, my mic was messing up. But yeah, shout out Lucas. Yeah, just put a new track today, all streaming. Get then. If you want to listen to it, you can find me at Jiggy J, at all social media stuff, and yeah, you can stream all my stuff. I use my name Gift Agbedi. That's my name on music, so you can find on Spotify, Apple, whatever, YouTube. And yeah, let's just support each other, man. So yeah, and let's see how we can go from there.
Definitely. Lex, anything from you?
Yeah, I'm just dropping mixes.
They're shit, by the way. Just let you know. But continue.
New to this.
This is exactly what we're talking about. Support your black brethren, son.
Look at your head. I've got SoundCloud, Lex the DJ. Just dropping regular mixes. I've just dropped a grime one, and I've got hopefully a bashment one dropping soon. Shout out to my Jamaican people and well on. So yeah,
I need to come to your next nights, bro.
Bro, this guy don't know about art collection nights. You don't know.
Every time it's been on, I haven't been in London, but I need to come, man.
Definitely. We've got some big plans. We were meant to do Box Park, but you know, we got COVID-19. That hurt me. That one hurt me. That was but we'll get there. I think I'll be joining Kiki. Obviously, we do our podcast on there, so you probably know from that. But I'll be doing my own show on there, and yeah, mixes on that. Chader's been getting on to me saying I'm not doing.
Yeah, get me there, man, please.
But yeah, most definitely. But yeah, love to everyone for locking in. And yeah, just make sure if you're white and you got offended, shout me and I'll tell you to fuck off. Bless love.